Welcome to art. It's time to start a new project. We're going to do something today that is going to be a lot of fun, and this is going to lead into a cool little holiday project we're going to work on that we're going to try to crank out right before our holiday break. Now, if you celebrate Christmas and you want to Christmas it up a little bit, that's great. If you don't celebrate Christmas, you celebrate something else, or you don't celebrate anything at all, you can flavor this project any way you want to go the way you want to go with it. But it's going to be kind of open-ended and we're all going to start together, but it's going to be a lot of fun. To start our project, we're going to talk about something that is called weaving. Weaving is it's a form of art. It's like a textile art where you take two things, normally it's two different kinds of yarn or fabric, and you kind of interlace them or smoosh them together to make a strong new thing. And a lot of times you'll have fabric that's made with weaving, or baskets that are made with weaving, or artwork that's made with weaving. And we're going to do kind of a paper weaving today. Some of you may have woven paper before, and if you have, you'll have a little shortcut on knowledge today. But if you haven't, I wanted to show kind of a way to do this. So we're going to make a paper loom. We're going to make a piece of paper that we're going to weave strips of paper into. And this is going to get us ready for our project next week. So today we're going to practice the weaving side of it. Next week we're going to make the cool thing out of it. So I'm going to take my paper, I'm going to take a piece of paper, and you're going to need two papers for this. One is we're going to turn into our little paper loom, and the other one we're going to make strips out of, okay? So if I take a piece of paper and I fold it in half like this, and I want to line that up as perfectly as I can line up those corners and hold it. I like to line my corners up flawlessly and hold it at the top and then take a finger and slide down. And then you can slide this way, you can slide that way, and it should be perfectly folded in half like a card. Now, to make our little loom, with it folded in half, I want to cut through the fold line. So if this is your paper, this is the fold line. I want to cut through the fold line, and I'm just going to do some little strips. So I'm going to cut up, and I'm going to stop a little before the edge of the paper. Okay? If I take these scissors, I'm going to cut up, and I'm going to stop, leaving a little room on the end there. So I cut a little strip here, and I'm going to do that all the way down. I want them to be about the same size. So I'll come over another little inch or so, I'll cut up, and I want to stop about in the same spot. So I've got this little cut, I've got this little cut. I want to do that down my page, okay? I'm just going to do it over and over, always stopping in about the same spot, trying to keep them about the same width apart, like so. Maybe I'll mix it up a little bit. What if I made this one a little wavier? I know I just said keep them the same, but I'm getting a little funky on this part. Okay, this is just showing some ways you can do it. I could, what if I kind of zigzag cut this one? That might look kind of neat. I just want to stop at the same part. Maybe I'll do another wavy. And a zigzag. You see I'm doing a little pattern here. It might look kind of cool. And just to keep my pattern going, I'll do one last little wavy one at the end. Because why not? Now if you had a different way you wanted to cut yours, that's probably fine. But you can see I cut little slits into my paper like this. Okay? Now if you open it, you're going to have this cool little, almost like ribbing, this little like slits cut into your paper like that. Okay? Which is kind of neat. Now with my other paper, I just want to cut some strips. Okay? So I'm going to take this paper and with it the same direction, like if I have this one going up and down, and this one going up and down, I'll just cut some little strips across. 1. I've got 2. I've got 3. I've got 4. Maybe, just to mix it up a little bit and show you what this is going to look like, I could even cut these in little shapes. Won't make a huge deal, might look kind of cool. But I just want a bunch of strips of paper. Mostly uniform. I'll zigzag this on. It's a little interesting. And with this, and I'll do one more strip. So I've got a bunch of little strips, and I've got my paper loom. A loom is what you use to weave into something, which is kind of cool. I guess technically this isn't a paper loom. This is just what I'm using to. It's my second one. But so what I'm gonna do. This is how we weave. I want you to remember that you go over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. It's almost like you're a little dolphin and you're swimming with the waves, or you're a little worm and you're burrowing in kind of wavy little forms. But you go over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And we're going to take this little piece of paper and we're going to do that all the way across my page. So let's watch. I'll start with over. So I'm going to go over this one. Okay, and then I'm going to go under. So over, under. All right, then I'm going to go over. Then I'm going to go under. Then I'm going to go over. Then I'm going to go under. Then I'm going to go over. Then I'm going to go under the black. Then I'm going to go over. Then I'm going to go under. And if you did it all the way across, it should do every other one. Over, under, over, under, over, under, all the way across like that. Now I can take this paper and I can very carefully push it all the way up until I hit the tippy top. And it should be nice and strong against the edge there. Okay? And if you look where I cut these little angles, you can see it kind of popped up in different ways. I'll get another strip. Now we're going to go over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under again, but we want to do the opposite. Okay? What I mean by that is you're going to look at what you just did and you want to do the opposite. This one was over. So I'm going to start the second row with under. Now this next row was under, so I'm going over. And if you're doing it right, it should start to look like a checkerboard because it's going to go in opposites. So I went under, over, then I'm going to go under. Whoa, oh, I lost you. Under, over, under. Then I'm going to go over. Then I'm going to go under. Then I'm going to go over. Then I'm going to go under. Then I'm going to go over. Then I'm going to go under and over, like that. Once you have it, take your finger and very carefully push it all the way up so that it's nice and tight against that last one. And if you look, I'm starting to get that cool checkerboard shape, and you can see where I cut my paper kind of funny. Hello. I have it like alternating like that. So that's kind of how we're going to do it, and we're going to keep doing that over and over and over, alternating over and over and over. So I went over, under, over, under, over. Now I went under, over, over, under a little bit. So this one, am I going to start over or am I going to start under? That's right. I'm going to start over. So over, under. You can always tell if you did it right at the very beginning because it should already kind of look like a checkerboard. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, and under. Mr. Galway. Get under there. Then I'll push it up. Now if you look at this one, you can see that was one of my wavy ones, and it kind of looks pretty cool. So I'm going to just keep doing that until I fill in this whole page. I'll speed through this part of the video real quick, okay? So I'm going over. And it looks like I can probably fit about one more in here. So I'm just going to squeeze one final one. You notice where I have these zigzags, sometimes they don't push right up against it because it didn't quite fit, but that's okay. So for this last one, I'm going to kind of squeeze it in the best I can. Might be a little tight fit, but I can always stretch those little cuts a little bit if I need to, just to make sure it all goes in like so. You got it? Oh yeah. So that's kind of how we're going to do our little weaving. This is a lot. I know I might have confused some of you. If you need to re-watch the beginning of this to kind of get it, that might help you. Or if you have any questions, feel free to email me or send me a message on Google Classroom or on Seesaw, and I will be glad to help you. But this is kind of how we fill in a weavy piece of paper. And we're going to do something really cool with weaving next week. So if you want to just practice today with some weaving, it's easiest if you practice with 2 colors of paper, if you have that. If you don't, you could always color one piece of paper with a sideways crayon to kind of help you see it a little better. But that'll get us ready for next week when we're going to do something really cool with our weaving. So I can't wait to see you then. All right. I will see you next time. We're going to make something really fun, and I'll talk to you then.